This podcast is a Tom production recorded on Aboriginal land.
I've done so much in the last 8 years and made so many mistakes due to thinking that I was way further ahead than I actually was. So I was trying to implement things in the business and trying to have these big grand ideas when I'd only been running for 4 years. And I wasted a lot of that energy trying to grow too fast when I hadn't even solidified my own practice.
Welcome to Process the Podcast, where I interview the creme de la creme of Australia's creative talent across fashion, film, design, media, pretty much all creative disciplines, all about their unique creative process. I'm your host, Arielle Thomas, motion director, social strategist, founder of creative agency Cinema Tom, and wellness gummy brand Remy. In these episodes, I also share my own creative process, the highs and lows, building my dream creative career, building a team, and building a suite of global clients. I share pretty much everything that I'm learning along the way. If you're someone with big creative ideas and the ambition to bring them to life, this podcast is for you. As always, these are very visual people talking about very visual things, so head over to @Process the Podcast and follow along as we give you context to not only hear what these creatives are talking about, but you can see it too. Let's dive in.
Are we actually live right now? Oh, shit.
Just go straight in.
Yeah. You didn't even tell me.
It's fine. That's
you just played about the camera.
Yeah. And we're on. Anyway, here we are. So, for someone that has no idea who you are, how do you explain what you do?
I make it's sculptural limestone objects, but I also make standalone sculptures as well.
Okay.
But there's a bit of a backstory. It's a windy road to get there. So if you want,
we've got time. Yeah.
Ready? Okay. So let's set the picture
set the scene.
here.
I'm a wee lad.
I'm a wee lad, just a small little laddie. Now I'm a lad I grew up in Den Holm, which we call denim. So that's the name of the brand.
Because I thought that you named your brand after the guy from IT Crowd.
No.
After your banter, I was like, surely that makes sense.
And a lot of people think I'm called Den.
Yeah.
And they think my last name's Holm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I came from the village and it's pronounced denim. We pronounce it denim. And anybody that comes into the village that's new to the village will call it Den Holm. And that's
how you know.
Uh-huh. And that's how you know the difference between the two of them. And I thought it'd be quite funny just to call it Den Holm. This is all internal humour, you know what I mean, for myself.
I get that from you.
So yeah, look, I'm just lad's lad, football daft or soccer, playing that until probably around about 16, 17, and then I left school because I just didn't want to carry on with, I'm not very academic. We'll find out more about that further down the track. And left and nearly became a plumber, but that got cancelled like the night before becoming a plumber, which would have been a catastrophe considering I got a job as a stonemason. Okay, so this is the start.
Mm-hmm.
So a job as a stonemason, really enjoyed it. But during that period in time, still playing football, but starting to go to raves around the UK, going to Ibiza for the summers. So I'm starting to get pulled away from, village and football life, as you can imagine. And really got into fashion due to, there was a kind of niche group of people called gate crasher kids. And they used to have a particular style.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going up to a group at a festival and asking them, look, guys, where do you get your outfits from? I want to buy one. And they were like, we make them.
That's amazing.
So I was like, all right, cool.
What is this style, if you were to explain it visually?
Spiky hair, glow sticks, wearing backpacks, all ripped and sewed back together kind of clothes, dummies.
Oh,
full on raver.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was like a short period, but anyway, that's what got me into it. And so I've went back home, asked my granny for a sewing machine, and I'm up there getting this outfit ready for the next festival. And I always remember my dad coming up into the bedroom. It was like a Thursday night, and he's like, "What are you doing? You should be at football." And I'm like, oh, no, Dad. You know what I mean? I'm making an outfit for this festival. And the look he gave me, you know what I mean? But I was quite strong-minded, so he didn't come into the argument, you know what I mean? He just went, all right, whatever.
So it wasn't like Billy Elliot?
Nah. He just was like, all right, whatever. Went to the festival, got a heap of attention of the girls and stuff. So all my other mates have decided that the next festival, they wanted me to make outfits for them.
Mm-hmm.
So before you know it, you're kind of starting to pick up fashion magazines. So you get your first Vogue kind of thing. And this is all a short period of time. Within like about 9 months, I've quit being a stonemason, enrolled in a foundation fashion college course in Glasgow, which is 2 hours drive away. So I've left my village. I remember telling my mum and dad that I was going to study fashion, and it was the strangest conversation I've ever had. And in the end, they couldn't do anything about it because I was aged. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm leaving. I'm going. I think they were just a little bit disappointed because I didn't actually finish my apprenticeship. I left with a year still to go, and they were like, "Just stay for a year," but I just couldn't. I needed to go. So left, went to Glasgow, studied fashion, ended up doing textiles for fashion. Had a gap year in there as well because I was failing a few things. Went to Canada, came back again, found myself, all that jazz, and actually met Bobby enrolling in because I failed a year, so I came back and redone a year. Met Bobby there, and then ended up in Manchester and done a degree in embroidery.
Wow.
Yeah. So an embroidery degree was fantastic. There was a lecturer who ran the course called Nigel Huddleston, and he was just like one of those real, a little bit like Senna, you know what I mean? That kind of guy. Just really, he understood people, and he understood how to build you up in the right direction and allow you to really kind of utilize what the course had to give, but also not stamp out anything that you already brought to the course, like brought with yourself. And I remember a conversation I had with him at the time. He's like, "Stephen, you need to stop worrying about like trying to do this and remember all of the skill set that you already have on board. That's actually what makes you different from anyone else."
Right.
Because I was always the only straight guy in the class.
Yeah.
Still in football, still a lad, you know what I mean? And I was kind of always trying to fit myself into, well, there was like 20 girls and a couple gay guys in the course. So you always kind of felt like you were on the outside a little bit.
Did you have to rationalize with yourself to be like, I'm going to commit to an embroidery course? Because like the identity that you would have had as a stonemason, like how did that go?
I'm quite confident person in terms of like within my social group and stuff like that. And we grow up in an environment and a culture in Scotland where you have to be, if you're in a group of mates, you have to be really quick to stop anybody being able to take the piss out of you. Right. So your defense is to be as open as possible. So that there was nothing that anybody could ever say to me that would like,
because you've already
I've already done it, or I'll even say it to them beforehand.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I remember having loads of conversations with some of the guys, especially the boys that I left work for, and they were like, "Oh, are you going to study fashion, this and that?" And I was like, "Mate, you work with Brian all day. You get to see his arse crack. Where do I go to work?
Yeah.
There's 20 girls in my course." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." So yeah, the embroidery degree itself was like, there was girls doing sound, moving picture.
Whoa.
So it was a loose, as long as you could talk to why this had an identity with stitch, then, because in the end I used a lot of my masonry skills and done like cement based things that were mixed with coal. It was all to do with nano architecture. That was my final.
So it's more of like an umbrella of what embroidery actually means in definition rather than in.
Well, look, I think when you do an art degree, it's rooted in the conceptual thinking behind it.
Yeah.
Whereas the embroidery was still kind of an arts degree, but it was rooted in the process of what you made.
Right.
You know what I mean? And building on that process and building on an idea. So the idea to begin with was like to do with nano architecture, and then it moved into carbon. Anything that was carbon, then I would use that to manipulate something to make structure. And as long as you could really tailor it back to where your initial idea came from, they were happy with that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it wasn't like, super conceptual, like just taping a banana on a wall and going, "Yeah, I'm done." Yeah. I need 6 months off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you were working and you were doing a lot of like sampling. Yeah. And the thing that's kind of crossed over into what I do now is that everything in textiles and embroidery was about like how can you take one material and manipulate that material and change it as many times as possible, maybe with a lot of other things or not a lot of things to change it. So just folding it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or just putting holes in it.
Yeah.
How big's the holes? Is the material wet prior? Have you put in glue before that, then pulled it out, then put holes in it? So that, like, it's endless. And if you have that approach, you can basically take that approach to near enough everything in life. You know what I mean? Your day. Wow. You know what I mean? And I kind of, that's what everything's rooted in that. So yeah, I finished the embroidery degree. We were going to move to London. That's the next step. That's the only place you can really go to be a creative in the UK. But I just didn't fancy it. I'd been down there a few times on nights out and stuff, and I've got quite an addictive personality, so I can get sucked into things. the dark side of life quite easily. And I have loads of it in my family as well. So I'm prone to it. And I was like, I just need to get away. All my mates were in London and they were all like working for hedge funds and bankers. So they're all cashed up and they're all just, out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just getting loose. So there was an opportunity came up to go to Melbourne, Australia to play football. I had a friend that had been over here, he had a physio, and he explained to me at the time, he's like, look, Stephen, they actually pay you for reasonably good football players over in Australia. So in the end, what happened was I came over here to play for a team called Diamond Valley in Greensboro. Mm-hmm. They basically set me up with a job, a house. I was getting paid to play football.
That's
so
amazing.
I was super happy with just, I'd been studying for too long. I studied from like 19 to 16 just to get a degree.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So, because I didn't get any qualifications really when I was at school. So I had to go through all the foundation. I had to do a foundation of foundation just to get into the foundation course. You know what I mean? So I was just super happy to be working, and I ended up working in like places like Toorak and Portsea and Sorrento, working in a lot of beautiful, nice houses. The sun's out, making some good cash for the first time in my life. So 5-6 years just disintegrated, and that's what I was doing. And then my wife Bobby got a job with Pop and Scott. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she got a job there and got kind of pulled in, got herself a little studio and started making these. It's hilarious. If you go back to the start of Den Holm, right to the first post, it's a cement and wood chip triangle with pink on the inside. And it's like just a, shelf. And that was the first thing I made. And I had no desire to make anything out of stone. I had never ever looked at stone as a creative output, ever. I remember leaving stonemasonry and going, fuck you, I'm never coming back to work fucking you again. You know what I mean? Fucking tradies. Doing those ones when I was 19. Yeah. And yeah, well.
And now it's your whole life.
Yeah, it's everything. I find books on old stonemasonry and everything, you know what I mean? And I'd actually there's loads of things that I got taught during my apprenticeship because I worked for, they were called John Laidlaw's and Son. They were like the main stonemasonry firm in the whole of the border, so the south of Scotland. They'd done all like historic Scotland work, so they'd done everything like perfect. And my boss used to walk past me and he'd take off his hard hat. If my mortar board wasn't clean, he would just hit me on the top of the head and go, tidiness is next to godliness, Stephen. And he would just walk off. Those kind of little things. And it's weird now. I've kind of pushed against being tidy, but now we're having staff and everything like that. Being tidy is so important. Yeah. So I'm not doing that because I won't get away with doing that in these days, but I'm kind of doing it, get a fucking tidy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had a studio in Pop and Scott, and then Camille from Carpenter's daughter, she asked me to make her a plinth. Out of stone, because they were all into it, kind of when Brancusi first came onto the scene a little bit on Insta. So I made them a plinth, and then I remember getting a phone call off Bob. They were all pissed at Pop and Scott, and they're like, everybody's going crazy about this plinth you've made, you need to make more. And then I heard somebody in the background going, oh, how long did it take you to make? Like a month. And it literally took me like 4 hours with a 5-inch grinder in the back garden. And at that time, I was already starting to get a bit tired with, tradie life, because when you work as a stonemason, you're on jobs for, 4 to 2 years, 4 months to 2 years.
Right.
And you could be in Portsea or out in Mount Macedon.
Right.
So you're out there freezing. It's good work visually to look at, but a lot of the time to get to there, it's
the commute and stuff. It's pretty monotonous.
Pretty full on. So I was I'd had enough of it all.
Yeah.
So I decided to make a few more plinths.
Aesthetically, if we were to look at your work now and then look at the plinth, what kind of vibe was the plinth? What did it look like? Was it of what we would expect you to make now?
No, definitely not.
Or just a plinth?
Just a plinth, like half-arsed plinth. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I think there would probably still be some people that thought it was quite nice, but it kind of looked like a stone shit, to be honest. Because it's just it was a long plinth. It had no movement in it at all,
Yeah,
and it just looked like
just a plinth.
Just a plinth.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just decided to make I decided to make a couple planters, and then design files picked it up within like 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah. It all happened really, really fast. And then 5 months later, I'd quit my job and got a 6-car garage in Reservoir.
Wow.
And just started making stuff. And it wasn't too long until I think it was Lucy Folk and then Tasman Johnson asked me to make her a table. She said, "Have you ever made a table before?" I was like, "Yeah, I've made a table."
Definitely not made a table. Does she know that now?
Yeah. But she got the last laugh.
Yeah.
Because the what I charged for that table plus 10 planters is hilarious. And I always remember as well, I was walking to get the train and I sent off the email, and I took about, I don't know, 200 meters out of the house. And I was like, I'm going to send back another email. I'm going to add $500 onto it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you're like, go.
So I sent it, and then I was like, no. And then I sent another one going, "Oh, sorry, I've made a mistake." And I put an extra $500 on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it wouldn't even get a quarter. It wouldn't even get a fucking eighth of a table now. And that was for a table plus 10 planters.
Wow.
Yeah. And at that time, I couldn't even believe that anybody wanted to pay over $1,000 for anything that I made. It was bananas.
So good.
Yeah.
So was that was still in your style that you're still sort of working with now today, right?
Yeah, that table definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we look at the pieces that you make, what's the material that you use?
Limestone, South Australian limestone.
Okay.
Yeah. And
how does that literally arrive at your door? I know nothing about this process on purpose because I really want to crack it open. You'd probably be like, "Are you really asking me that?" I'm deadly serious.
Look, the thing I draw attention to, because it's something I didn't know at the time either, is that we all think of like stone and we think of marble and the way it gets. You've probably seen videos of it just getting cut off the side of a cliff and it falling and bursting.
Yeah,
limestone's not like that. It gets cut off the seabed. So they've got these things that kind of work on tracks with 2 circular blades that then cut it at a certain depth. You'll get like these just like massive chunks they'll kind of look like massive chunks of cheese. Because South Australian,
I can see that. Yeah,
you see it. Yeah, because limestone's another one of those scenarios where it has a huge remit of consistency.
Yeah,
so you can go from something as hard as marble to what we use, and it's pretty soft and it's super consistent. It's got full of fossils and stuff like that as well, but it's something that you can work with limestone with timber tools to a certain degree.
Yeah. Okay. So like Stephanie from Engold has come on the podcast.
Right, okay, yeah.
She is obviously working...
Well, I know of her.
Yeah, so she's working with Filipino kind of fossil stone and that piece, but they're so different to look at. Yeah. So how would you explain that difference?
Well, a lot of the time what they do, those guys do, I'm pretty certain that's limestone as well.
Yeah,
but it's just a different type. It's a little bit harder.
Okay.
What they do is they cut it up into tiny little tiles and they glue it to a substrate.
Yeah, okay.
Behind it. So whether that's an MDF substrate or a polystyrene substrate behind it. And I think they've got the ability to do that because they've got the labour intensive remit of the country are kind of willing to put that kind of work in using that kind of stone. We kind of do a little bit of that now, even with the stone that we've got as well, because
Mhm.
we've had to like figure out how to make things lighter and whatnot.
How do you make things lighter? Because if we were to look at a table,
like that? Yeah.
I think, imagine one of the tables that just got put on Instagram, for example. Like, I can just imagine it's like somewhat many shapes getting to the base of the table, and then you've just got this big, beautiful tabletop.
The one that we done for Dish, it's called Loudfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll use that as a visual.
Yes.
So how dense is that? Is that entire thing?
That's solid.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be roughly around about maybe 300 kg.
How heavy is a Range Rover?
Fuck knows.
Is that heavier than that?
Yeah. No, Range Rover's heavier than
Okay.
that. Yeah.
I don't know how heavy Stone is. How heavy? It's 300 kilos.
We need some scales here.
My dad's 100 kilos.
Yeah.
He's a big man.
He's a big lad.
So,
yeah.
loves
He's
a wine.
Yeah,
so
right,
no, he's not 6 foot. He's just
he's
like a little
wine.
Monopoly man.
Oh,
He's like, you know,
okay,
minus the money part. But okay, so 3 of him. Cool. Can't lift it.
No, you have to lift it in pieces, and it takes multiple.
So when you guys deliver, are you doing 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, so that's a base.
Yeah,
and then just the top. So there's a lot of tables where everything's designed around about like a maximum 4-man lift.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the time. Yeah.
Okay.
But we're just about to finish this like 3.2 meter table for Blaney North that's got a Lazy Susan in the center as well, and it's been hectic.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So there's a lot of engineering that's now went into it. It used to be just a lot of free-forming, sculpting, not really worrying about all the intricate craft details of making furniture. It was really rooted in an object that was a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
Whereas the business is kind of growing, and even my appetite to push it into making more finer crafted items.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it definitely does, because you have to work backwards. You know what I mean? You have to have the design, and you have to work backwards, and then have that all in steps of what needs to be finished first before you can take another piece in. And we still don't, my designs will go from like a linear line drawing to finished outcome.
Yeah, okay.
So there's nothing in between. No renders, nothing.
Really?
Yeah, nothing.
Just a line drawing?
Just a line drawing.
And do you do that?
It. Yeah.
Do you do it on paper and you scan it in?
Yeah, paper. Yeah. Just a fine liner, 0.4 most of the time.
Nice.
0.4 to 0.6. Right? Can't go any thinner, can't go any thicker. All right?
Got it.
Get a little bit wigged out if you try and get. I can't do it in a pencil either.
Yeah, okay.
No. And yeah, when I'm producing a drawing for, I won't go off for a day and draw it.
Yeah.
I'll literally just have a random moment when I'm in the studio, and I'll be in the middle of doing something, like taping something up, and I'll be like, no, I'm going to have to draw that now.
Because you're thinking about it. Yeah,
because I'm always in, like, they've got about 6 or 7, 8, 10, 20 things going on at the same time, all the time.
Design-wise. Yeah.
Yeah, design and life. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I've got a lot going on. My brain doesn't stop.
Yeah, I call it a bing bong brain.
Yeah, I need to. My safe space, like, for my brain, is driving.
Same.
Yeah. I love driving. Yeah. Could fucking drive in one direction for 5 hours. Easy.
Yeah, same.
Stick a podcast in and sort shit out.
Yeah. I do that too.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun.
So my trade is in film, and it's stitching clips together with all the tools of the trade that I have at my disposal, of lighting, camera movement, no camera movement, whoever the talent is, music. If it's like a TikTok, same thing, but like vibes on the music, maybe some subtitles, maybe some animation, who knows? So it's like, that's kind of how something would come together. And I can then take the vibe energetically with references and whatever, hand it over to another editor and just get them to create it. And then I come in and basically zhuzh it up and be like, shorten that, fix that. No, the music's not working. Let's fix that up. Yeah. How is that applicable to how you've grown your own studio? Is that kind of similar? Where you're at the top and you're like, this is what we're doing because you're 0.4 with your fine liner. Setting the tone. And then it's a slab of stone comes in
Yep.
How much work do you have to do to get it to the near shape? And is that you doing that?
Yeah, look, I think that there's been different people that I've had around me at different points in the business that have had the capacity to do a certain percentage of that 100%. You know what I mean? It used to be like I was across like pretty much it all from start to finish. But I've gotten a lot better at segmenting it down now.
Can you talk to us about the segments?
So, well, for instance, you've got dimensions for the table, rough dimensions that will go and get cut. It'll come back, then I'll put a pencil mark on it.
So they don't get cut with you, they go away?
They'll still get cut in the studio, but by somebody else in the studio. I'll put a few pencil marks on it, rough it down again, so we're just pulling it in.
What does that mean, like if you're looking at something?
So if we'll have a square bit of stone that's maybe multiple pieces.
Yeah.
And we need to turn it into a circle.
Yeah.
To make that first mark.
Do you pencil off like on fabric, how someone would just do that and then
so a lot of the time it's freehand.
Okay.
Because I don't really like perfect circles.
Yeah.
I don't like visually how they just kick you, you know what I mean?
You'd hate this table.
Yeah, I don't like anything that's completely perfect. No.
Okay, this table was $149. That's fine.
It's okay. Yeah. But if you do better on your podcast, you might get yourself a better table.
We could talk about this.
Yeah,
I won't do a Shanna though.
Yeah, don't do a Shanna.
We'll give you a brief.
I don't know what's going on there, Shanna. We'll have to talk after this.
So you pencil it.
I pencil it. They'll cut it. Then we're quickly trying to get it into its form as quickly as possible. So
how long does that take in time? Is that a day to get it down?
Yeah, like it doesn't. A lot of the stages don't take necessarily a heap of time to get to the actual form itself, but there's time in between where I'll be like, right, we've staged it, we've got an idea around about its mass. It's going to bed for a bit, so we'll go off to work on other stuff, and it'll be in here somewhere, and I'll be looking at it all the time and getting a feel for what the direction is of the table.
It's like this system where, like, fuck you though, you can't tell me what to do. Why do we do that? It gets us in so much trouble.
I've figured it out that what I just need to do, because I used to just maybe have 2 projects on the go, and then I used to fuck myself all the time. So I have like 5 or 6 projects on the go.
Okay.
And I used to even try and get Camilla in the office to not even tell me when things were meant to be done and make up dates and all sorts of things like that.
Just to trick your psychology.
Just to trick my psychology in my head.
I like that.
I've got no idea. Like, we had a deadline. I shouldn't be telling people this. It's not going to be good when I tell them, oh yeah, the truck's got a flat tire. I'll just not do it. Don't know why. It's not good business. You know what I mean?
No, but like you have to be in it.
But then there'll be things that happen later on. Like, I'll make an edit or change something that I wouldn't have done 48 hours ago that make the table different and better. All the time.
Yeah, okay.
All the time. And even things where if I decide that if it's getting to the end and you're having to rush and something bursts or breaks or falls or, you know, you just don't, you do the wrong thing at the wrong moment in time, to cover that up, to move it, ends up meaning the table takes a different direction. So I've figured out not to get in the way of it too much, because there's something secret sauce kind of vibe going on.
Have you seen that thing? It was like a TED talk, and she's talking about how genius is like a thing that comes down to us, and like it like strikes us like lightning or something. That's a very ethereal way to put it, but I feel like
I'm a genius.
Somewhat. But like, it's not up to us.
Yeah,
you know, it just is what it is. We're the vehicle. I say
it to the guys in the studio, that'll happen.
Yeah.
And it'll make the table better, and everybody will see it, or the sculpture or whatever, and I'll just be like, sculpture gods.
Exactly.
I joke about it, but it's
that's the same premise I'm talking about.
Definitely there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super strange.
Weird.
Yeah.
Are you spiritual?
I am getting more spiritual.
Because you're like, this is so strange.
Yeah. No, I go to see this Snez, her name is, out in Kangaroo Grounds. She's a healer. And you do like 2.5 hours. And it's...
I really want to get into that.
Yes, 5th, 4th, 6th, 7th dimension, all that kind of stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
That's
I've been
cool.
doing that lately. Just shit. I think it doesn't matter what you choose to use, but it's just a way that you have to figure out how to shift your perspective.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, even a chiro appointment. You know what I mean? Having a chiro appointment and the conversation that you have with chiro.
Yeah.
You don't have those conversations with really anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm big on making sure I can shift it, because you can easily get super tunnel visioned on just that feedback loop in terms of the way that your brain works. And a lot of the time it's just complete bullshit.
Especially if you look at like the business and the formula. The formula is working. Like your style.
And you're never happy.
Yeah.
I seen something on Instagram this morning and it literally just said everything that I was, because I'm like, in a bit of a huff the last couple of days about stuff in the business and stuff like that. And then it just laid out, you should be happy considering where you are now. If you were, what is it, something like you would be extremely happy now compared to the person you were 5 years ago in your business, kind of thing. That kind of mantra kind of stuff. And I was like, all right, okay. You know what I mean? Like, just get on with it. Yeah. Just get on with it. But I think that's the driver as well at the same time.
Yeah, totally. I've been speaking about ambition recently a lot, on how to be ambitious, because 5 years ago, before I really knew how all of this worked in terms of corporate and what I'm doing now and climbing a ladder, I would have been like, and then I'll end up in LA or New York, and then like this, and I'll be doing Maybelline campaigns with Gigi Hadid or like whatever the fuck. But like, I'm different to you in the sense I don't have a family like based in Melbourne, so I'm not locked in here. Yeah. But I think I've probably like created a bit of a cage for myself in terms of growth. Yeah. How does it work for you when you're based in Melbourne and overseas demand and just ambition in general?
Yeah, I think when we arrived here, it didn't take me very long. It would be about 3 months, and I knew I needed to stay here.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like, the vibes?
Just the vibes.
Yeah.
And also, you build characters with groups of friends and people. You then have to live up to that character, and it's difficult to change the character in your social group.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially if you're as like crazy as I was with my mates and stuff like that. So I needed to get away to build a new kind of, just so I wasn't getting pulled into
you had to emerge into something new.
Saturday night, Sundays getting pissed. It would have been so easy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just the fact that you could kind of bullshit your way through things a little bit, because you're Scottish. I remember being on the building site, and engineer or the guy that was running the show would talk about a particular lintel or engineering thing, and it would have a code or something like that, and I would be like, yeah, and I'd be like, oh yeah, it's just got a different name in Scotland, you know what I mean? And you would just you'd figure out, you'd jump into the toilet, you'd look up on Google, you'd be like, all right, that, because I knew how to do stuff, I just didn't have the lingo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you wouldn't got away with that in Scotland.
Right.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't have been able to grow, because I found out when I was at uni that I was like quite heavily dyslexic. My lecturer was like peering over my shoulder when I was doing my journal, and he's like,
"That's not right.
Have you ever had a dyslexia?" No. What are you talking about? You calling me dumb? Anyway, I went for the test, and it turned out, pretty heavy dyslexia. Yeah. So that kind of just made me realize that, you know, my jotters in English just got absolutely covered in red, right? And it wasn't because I couldn't spell, it was because I was dyslexic.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just kind of led into everything I do in terms of the way I learn is all through my hands. Yeah. I don't remember names of things.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So even if I go into a tool shop now and I want to get something, I still have to go through like, I want this.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you always have to get past the guy that's working in the tool, because he thinks, you don't know what you're talking about, kind of thing. You're just some dude that's come off the street. So I just don't remember. I don't remember names either, like people's names.
Yeah.
They just do not sink in until they like completely lock in, and we're all good. But I'll have forgotten pretty much all the girls I went to uni, all their names. Just words just don't work.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about ambition.
Ambition, yeah.
And now we're dyslexic.
Yeah, now we're dyslexic. So,
it's fine. It's like a real testament to dyslexia. So it's fine. Proof.
But that's kind of like that was a big hurdle for me to get past, to be honest. I didn't really realize how big a hurdle it was because it played into everything where you actually questioned whether or not you were actually like dumb, intelligent, whatever. Because there was just moments where you were left thinking, fucking hell, like, am I going to get my shit together here at all? And the framework of coming and starting fresh, building in Australia and just feeling your way into it, getting through your 20s into your 30s, it's different. You've got a different head on your shoulder, you know what I mean, compared to when you're in 20s, you're kind of kicking into gear.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't pass up the life that I've built for any ambition.
Right.
I'm already maxing.
Really?
In terms of, anything more now is just part of the game.
Yeah.
I just see like Den Holm and the business is just a game. You know what I mean? I'm happily married, got 2 little kids, reasonably healthy. I'm back being football manager at Diamond Valley. So like most of my cups are pretty full.
Yeah.
I see it just as another challenge to push through and become a globally recognized design brand, which I would say like within certain spheres, we're already there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we've got representation in New York, London, Dubai, Shanghai. Probably not selling as much as I would love, you know, in those areas. But I think that comes down to the fact that you think you're an old business when you've been running for I think we've been running maybe 8-9 years.
Yeah.
And there was something I read or came across and it's like your business only starts at 10.
Yeah, which is insane,
Yeah.
right? You're like, what do you mean?
It's like, what are you
where else is it going to go?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I've done so much in the last 8 years and made so many mistakes due to thinking that I was way further ahead than I actually was. So I was trying to implement things in the business and trying to have these big grand ideas when I'd only been running for 4 years.
Yeah.
And I wasted a lot of that energy trying to grow too fast when I hadn't even solidified my own practice.
Yeah.
So I was still manipulating the stone. I was changing the way that we actually worked with it. And I'm off trying to segment my brand into sub-brands and start like an online digital magazine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And nearly going into a partnership with a guy that it just never worked out, you know what I mean? But I'm glad it didn't because I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? That's probably 20 years in.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You know what I mean? Maybe 15,
I totally agree. I do that too. And it's really dangerous. Yeah. But I also think it's sort of like perception around like what we're kind of seeing online and how.
Yeah.
Is it just we want too much because it looks like we can have it all and like why not? Like, or like you creating like a digital magazine. What was the energy there to be like, oh yeah, now I'm going to do this and this and this and this?
You just see things and you feel like you can, I don't know if, it probably is you feel like you can do things better.
Yeah.
Or you enjoy the energy of that, like even doing a podcast. I've got a feeling like, oh, I want to do a podcast.
Like start one?
Yeah.
It's so much work.
Just like,
I don't recommend it.
And I've realised that like, I've got my own art practice inside Den Holm where I make, you know, I paint and I do sculptures, and then I've got a full-on manufacturing and design brand. It's not like you just design stuff. We actually have to manufacture it. So you then have to move all your thought process into, I have to design a factory.
Yeah.
And then I have to design a playbook on how things get made. Not for skilled people, then you have to break it up. So you've got like, before you know it, and if you really do it properly, you've got 10 jobs inside just the one job.
Yeah.
But I hadn't looked at it like that when I first, I wanted to just play more and enjoy that creative output. But I quickly realised that I was burning myself out and I was giving myself even more headaches, and those headaches were burning you out even more again. Yeah. I think it's an age thing as well. You know, I'm going to be 42 next birthday, and you've got 2 young kids. And you're like, oh, fuck, right?
Yeah,
we've got to play growing up here. Do you know what I mean? We've got to stop playing. We've managed to crack something. Why are you trying to crack another 3 or 4 eggs when you don't even really have a hold of the first one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was putting that down, handing that over to somebody else in a respect. But it's because you've got the same energy that got you there in the first place, I think.
Yeah.
And without that, and we can't, I think with my personality, I don't know if it's the same with you, I can't really be told. I can be advised, but it doesn't mean I won't still try it. Like your advice will be good, because if I was just to be advised and do everything that I was told through, your peers and stuff like that, well, the limestone that I've used, I was told multiple times that it couldn't be used as furniture.
Right.
All right. And I was told by tradesmen that had been in the trade for... Experts, yeah, exactly. It doesn't work that way. I think what I'm kind of getting the feel for now is that you're going to always make mistakes. It's just making sure that as you come out of the mistake, it's like damage limitation.
Yeah.
So you have enough around about you. You kind of know that you're going to always venture into a mistake, but just make sure that you've got like a route out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the client doesn't find out about it.
Yeah. There's no clients are going to find out about this podcast. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, like in terms of like just taking new risks in the business, just hiring somebody's a risk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you got to figure out how to make sure you don't hire somebody on a 5-year contract, do you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just mitigate. That's the word.
It's okay. It's a hard word.
Yeah. You pick on me and my dyslexia.
Yeah, I'm joking. It's fine.
But yeah, that's what I think. I think it's only natural for the creative mind. You know what I mean? You got to remember, business isn't. People can look at it as something creative, but it's not really. I don't necessarily think, because it doesn't stop. It's constantly knocking at the door.
Creativity.
Business.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. Whereas creativity, you can, you're like a creative person's always going to have that but you have to have times where you can kind of go, all right, I'm going to just settle for a bit before I peak back up again. But the business doesn't stop, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to keep selling. Sell, pay your bills, but sell, pay your bills. And if you don't have reasonably strong structure or people around about you, then I think that's where a lot of failure comes in.
Yeah, totally. I'm in that era right now of learning just how to do that. I hired my first full-timer, Mon, 2 months ago, and she was the right person for it, but she went on, she had already booked a trip to for Europe. So she started for a month, helped me sprint, left for a month, which is frustrating, but also a blessing, because she went away and then I realized all the shit that I didn't have in place to really onboard her properly, got that together, and now she's back. It's Wednesday today. She literally got back on Monday. So we've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But there was a girl before her that joined the business for a month, and it was amazing, but we got to the end of a 1-month period and I was like, this isn't sticking right. And she was like, I was just a fan and I really wanted to be a part of it. Yeah. But now that I'm in it, I know that I'm not the right fit.
Yeah.
And it's hard as a business owner, because you realize you actually are a walking, talking individual that has to find your right fit. And as much as I can delegate to you with systems and processes, this may not be right for you. And it feels like such a waste when you give everything you've got to onboard that person, because it takes so much time and effort and then they vanish. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. But then you're just like, oh, okay, how many times do you have to do this until you find the right person?
Yeah.
But it's wild. Adulting like that.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of growth in that, though, even for yourself.
Yeah.
Along the way. And I think sometimes we hire people for that reason and that reason only, in terms of getting you to the next step. So that, because you're not going to come in and just hire this absolute guns CEO, you know what I mean? Because you'd feel inferior, and you can't have that complex happening. And I've tasted a little bit of that at different points through the last 8-9 years in terms of hiring. That's been a big journey in itself, figuring out how to, the way that I kind of manage is that I really try and find out what makes the person tick.
Yeah.
and really keep them in their happy zone.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe if somebody was to break that down, it would have something to do with, I don't know, feeling inferior yourself, maybe, because you're trying to keep people happy. But it has worked.
Well, it also mitigates risk, because then you're so on top of, are they unhappy? Well, yeah, because you're hyper aware.
But the buy-in's huge.
Yeah.
So that's my big thing, is buy-in has to be huge.
Can you break that down?
So, well, look, you have to have somebody that is there because they're not clocking in and clocking off.
Yeah.
Even if they're a gun, you know what I mean, in terms of the skill set. If they're really looking at the clock and wanting to leave on the dot, and they have no real passion for, you know what I mean, the overall environment around about them and the actual product itself, then it's not gonna be a good fit, because we're in quite a tight. I'm really energetic, so if I pick up on somebody's energy and it's not pointing in the right direction, I can't work. Yeah, I'm bouncing back and forth off them.
Yeah, you need the chemistry of it.
And then especially if I'm like really in like a kind of sculpting zone where I'm sculpting a freestyle sculpture in the middle of the workshop, and you've got people moving about. If their energy is too strong, I can't work on the sculpture.
Have you ever like kicked someone out because they got a shit vibe?
Yeah. Not instantly, like just been sculpting and went, hey, you fuck off.
Yeah.
But through time it's been pushed, or I'll try and have that person work in another room as well. Or I'll say, if somebody's really having one of those shit days, we've had like back and forth, I'll be like, right, well, just leave then. I don't want you coming to work then.
Yeah.
If they give me a big personal I'm all for the working with people's emotions and making sure you're all right. But I've got this real thing, like, if you're coming into work, you got to bring the happy face, and it's got to be, you've got to act pretty hard that you're happy.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I would rather you took a mental health day.
Yeah, for sure.
What I mean? Or let's talk about it. I've had loads of that, you know what I mean? Sit down, because I'm like the therapist for all my mates. I'm that guy. We just had a situation yesterday with one of the staff members, and it's kind of nice to walk people through what's going on inside their head and trying to play that back on them, because I've been through a lot myself. You know what I mean? And it's nice to see it get to the point where they go, all right, what I was thinking isn't actually what it was.
Yeah. And
you have that little bit of emotional release. And they're young, you know what I mean? The particular person I'm talking about is like early 20s. And
it also
you can see it all.
Yeah.
You can see the whole story, you know what I mean? And you're like, don't worry about it. Like, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah.
In 3 months, you'll feel like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that. I enjoy people. I enjoy building an environment, and everybody always comes in and says it's a great place to work.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I love it when they say that. I'm like, this is a good place to work.
Yeah, you're right. Like we've went through a lot of speed bumps in terms of cash flow and all that type of stuff, which has been a strain on myself and the staff during different periods of time.
Did you learn that lesson of a buffer?
Look, what do you mean by that? So?
Like building out a buffer so that it's...
Oh, yeah, but we have no buffer.
Okay.
Nah. The business, that's what I was saying before, like the business man still has a lot of growth.
Okay.
A lot of growth, because we've always tried to do just way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. Like we've got a factory, it's like 700 squares. There was an old English guy from Sheffield, and he like owns auction business, and he's a big character, and he kind of leant into me one night and he goes, Stephen, what you need to do is you need to bite off more than you can chew and chew like fuck.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, you know how you get little sayings that drop into your mind?
Yeah, and you're like, okay.
So I'm chewing like fuck right now. So I'm spilling out the sides, if you can see.
Yeah, same. So when you talk about the manufacturing side of it, is that in play right now? If we were to talk about Den Holm and how the business is actually set up, talk me through it, and who have you got in each? in the team? How many like apprentices have you got? Talk me through the structure.
Yeah, so look, we've got Camillo in the office, Colombian lad, and I just call it the office.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't really have defined complete roles for everyone in those positions, but he's really across the books. He's front of house when it comes to inquiries.
So he's just not on the tools.
He's not on the tools.
Great.
No, he's in the office.
Mm-hmm.
He's clean.
Mm-hmm.
We've got dirty and clean. Right? It's quite simple.
Mm-hmm.
So he's across all like logistics as well, purchasing of all materials, all that kind of stuff. And then I've got Tom, who is across, you would say, the more marketing side, you know what I mean, across socials. He will handle sales, but once it's over the line. So he'll be a little bit more back and forth around about the design, a little bit like client liaison part.
Is he clean?
He's clean.
Great.
Completely clean. He wasn't though, to begin with. He was an intern that came in and worked on the tools he was an intern for about 6 months, and then he managed to wangle himself into the office, and he's great. So we've got 2 in the office. Camillo's kind of full-time, part-time. He works from home kind of thing. He's on call. And then probably right-hand man's Hayden. He studied architecture, so he's got an architecture. I think he actually worked in architecture for a short period of time as well. So he's kind of second in command, and across a lot more of the product-based furniture that we make.
What is some of those pieces that you do?
So we make like a Kit Kat coffee table, it's called, which is super heavy, about 450 kg table, but has done quite well. And then we've got the lacy coffee table. There's a bunch of things. Lacy coffee table, alley side table. So these tend to be, if you're looking at it from a design or visual aspect, they're extrusions. So there's no actual sculpted form inside. You know, inside the hemisphere, if that makes sense. I always find it difficult to explain, but they're just basically extrusions, and then extrusions of pieces of stone that are then put together to make the final outcome. So they all come from a template, which makes them uniformed in terms of they have a strong visual reference to each other when they're laid out. If you're to make 2 laces. Yeah. But if you get up close, there's still a lot of
Are they done by hand?
Yeah, everything's done by hand.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's done by hand. And then we've got a few new kind of the staff that have come on board since being interns as well. Ryan, who used to be in photography. So we've got a lot of people come. It's funny, a lot of people come to Den Holm with a different background, and just really enjoy the working environment and the way that probably I go about teaching and allowing people really to feel their way into it. I'm not a micromanager, because as we talked about before, I'm not that concerned about mistakes until we're in the final finishing process. If we're in the sculpting process before it gets resined, then mistakes can be easily managed. But once we get into the final end, like the last 40%, then things obviously need to be handled with a lot more care. But whenever anybody starts new, you have them at the start. So if they make a mistake, we pull it out, put something else in there, or we run with the mistake, either way. Yeah. And I think that builds a lot of confidence in the individual, and you can really see it's another great thing to see is just see people grow in their roles and even in their personality, from the point where they were quite quiet at lunchtime. Yeah, and then you see them coming out and you're like, oh yeah, you cracked a joke. And you got that little quirky, you find out they're into this and that, and you're like, oh geez, I've never seen that coming, you know what I mean? And we've had all like shapes and sizes in different places. Like at one point we had, when I was in Reservoir, we had 2 refugees, Syrian refugees that worked for me as well, because I had that moment where I felt like, because I was came over on a visa and we found it quite difficult to stay, I quite like the idea of kind of trying to give back in that, but that didn't really work out. It wasn't the right fit. But we haven't. It's been difficult to target exactly the employee that the business. If the business really wanted to just go out and pluck a certain employee, we would struggle because we're playing against the building industry.
Yeah, okay.
And we can't match those wages.
Yeah.
We can't even get close. So that's why manufacturing in Australia it finds it so difficult, is because the person out there that would want to come and work as a labour hand in the factory can go and hold on to a lollipop stick at the side of the road and get paid, 2 times more than what they're getting. So we've always attracted a different type of person, and it's made it super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is the factory now?
Oakley South.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you talk about the process of and then it goes through into resin and all that, in a shorthand, what is the process? We talked lightly on stone and how it goes. You get the mold, and then you come in and pencil. So
we call it first sculpt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's even in the invoicing process as well. So the client will pay once it's at first sculpt.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't even call it first sculpt, call it final sculpt.
Okay.
So that's when it's been worked in its raw form.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will get soaked in resin.
Okay.
Yeah. So it goes in its final sculpt, sanded, and because of the way that the light interacts with the dust, it makes the stone actually look like it's white.
Yeah.
In photography. But if you were to wet it, it's kind of like a yellow colour.
Really?
Same colour as your couch.
Okay.
It's kind of beigey colour. Super light beige. So when we add resin to it, you can imagine it goes even darker again. But it hardens the stone. And during that process, we add in this is the KFC secret sauce kind of vibe going on. We add in pigments of any varying colour that you can think of. Then it gets sanded back. And then the final coat is a car automotive lacquer that gets sprayed on it. And it basically makes it completely stain-proof.
Wow.
And you can't tell that it's got any of that on it. It just looks like stone.
Wow.
Yeah. And the way that we do it and at the right times and stuff like that is and that's been a crazy process to get to that point. We used to use water-based stone consolidator that is used for, limestone buildings and stuff like that up until only maybe 2 years ago. And you were always sending out your product and going, I know it can be better than that. But you were in the middle of working and trying to prototype.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And a lot of the prototyping with what we do, you need 4 months before you know whether or not a glue's failed, whether or not resin changes in...
You need the durability and actually road test it.
Yeah. But you need 4 or 6 months before you know what you've done on that day is actually going to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's been a long time, and I would really say that we're probably at a point now where I would say this, we're in the last 10% of making adjustments to the process. How
do you go about allocating time to prototype?
That's another thing in terms of time. I don't even know what I'm doing when I get to work in the morning.
You're just looking at what needs to be done.
Yeah, it all downloads literally as I walk through the door. Yeah. And I always have to just try and choose what I'm going to give the most energy to in that day. Because if I fight against it, then... So I could be prototyping tomorrow. But I'm not 100% sure. I had a little bit of probably if you interviewed any staff, they'd be like, he's mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so important.
A nice guy.
Yeah.
But mad. And fucking does my tits in sometimes. You know what I mean? But he buys me coffee. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I buy morning coffees every morning as a kind of get ready for some madness.
Yeah. Sorry in advance.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, it's working, I think. Yeah.
So can your industry change with the new wave of obviously the Industrial Revolution changed everything, but how would you think about newness and what's happening? I'm not really terrified actually, but the secret sauce of editing and stuff, because AI can't really pick up on that. Is there shifts happening for you that are this is potentially going to be a problem?
No, I don't actually see it as a problem. That it's gonna open things up even more.
Okay.
As long as we can stay on it, the wave, and be relevant. Because I think we're only going to move more and more towards craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are going to crave it.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have digitized AI across a whole spectrum of our life. But we're still going to need these craft elements. I think people will stop purchase. They'll buy 80% of their things at this store, but they'll leave that 20% to add to their house or whatnot.
Yeah.
That they really desire because they know it was made by this guy in Japan. You know what I mean? So I only see it being a benefit, and it's like you'll have certain AI tools that you use now that make your life like, holy shit, this is amazing that I get to do this. And we are kind of flirting with the idea of getting a decommissioned like 7-axis robotic arm from an old car plant.
Wow.
To then allow for us to, what it'll do is it'll just do some of the roughing work. So you know how I was talking about at the start, like it'll take things to a close-ish form, and then you can come in and then start to play with it. And it's just like a tool. It's just like a chisel. Do you know what I mean?
Can that run 24 hours a day?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, we could definitely get it set up. I don't think it's necessarily something that will end up being too difficult. It just, again, timing and having the space to do it and having enough sales, like the world is a strange place, you know what I mean? It's like there seems to be fire everywhere you look, but hey, do you want a limestone table? Do you know what I mean? 100%. You have those moments where you're just like, oh geez. So, but yeah, I think I'm not necessarily, I'm worried about AI and other facets of life,
like children and all that stuff.
Yeah. And digital IDs and all that. Yeah. I'm a big conspiracy theorist kind of guy. I just like the stories. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Of the conspiracy.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just a story, isn't it? You know what I mean? And you kind of like to try and unpick it a little bit. And any conspiracy,
like that child that's missing in Adelaide, outside of Adelaide.
No.
You know the child that's the like he's 4. He just went missing on a property and where'd he go?
No.
What do you mean? Like he got taken, or his grandmother was watching him.
Have they found him?
No. It's been like 7 days now. And they're like, he fell into a well or like something like that. And you're just like, well, yeah, but they would have, how far can a 4-year-old get in like 2 hours or something? And they're like, a hawk or an eagle took him. And you're like, oh, that's ridiculous. A dingo. It's like, don't know. I know, like, but everyone's like, where did he?
Yeah. I love them. I'm proper into them and all. Yeah. I enjoy that kind of part of it. But yeah, digital IDs and social credit score and all that kind of stuff.
Where do you think that you will take your designs from here? If you were to look at the aesthetic of it and you were to think about you in 10 years, do you think things would change?
Yeah, I think just...
Because you've also changed up the application of what you do recently too. Like with you, when you're doing, like you're putting things out, collabs on mirrors, and you're also doing colour now within different collab ways.
Look, that was always... It's just that's how slow it is to get things to happen. You know what I mean? We've been redesigning the website for about the last 7 months.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, it's just like it's been decommissioned for like 8 months, man. The business was always rooted in the same way as a couture fashion house.
Okay.
Yes.
Bougie. I love.
So it's coming from my fashion days.
Yeah.
So the idea was always to have that couture, top of the line, Stephen John Clark for Den Holm kind of vibe, right? So it's standalone, and that has its own business model, which is just to strive for even more excellency in the craft.
Yeah.
And manipulating new materials and finding new ways to bring those materials together. And then through doing that process, you would dilute that to what would be the ready to wear. And the ready to wear is you're still standalone, handcrafted, but just diluted. Just obviously not as much time spent on it, and iterations of itself most likely. And then you'd have your high street, and your high street was brand focused on what the identity of the brand visually and socially, how it comes across to the public, and really pushing forward. I think more than anything is just like my the humor that's rooted in myself and not taking myself too seriously.
Yeah.
And enjoying that. Like I was just saying to Nikki this morning, the older I get, the more I enjoy having random conversations with people and just deciding to take the conversation in a really random direction, just to see them squirm a little bit and just to see where they sit in the world.
You sicko.
Yeah, just like kind of, I just enjoy that random interaction with somebody in the coffee shop, and maybe you know for a fact they're not a Trump supporter, and you just say that you're a Trump supporter, and just to see
to fuck with them a little bit.
I just think everyone's so fucking square. You know what I mean? I feel like we're losing the ability to even remotely have differing views.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as somebody has a different view, like, oh, you don't like Lamborghinis. Oh, fuck you, man. You know what I mean? You don't. I can't believe he doesn't like Lamborghinis. You know what I mean? And like,
it's like we've sort of forgotten how to coexist.
Yeah, like there's so much depth to every single individual, and I'm just getting a little bit of enjoyment out of just because I think the world's we're all fucking on edge.
A bit uptight, yeah,
just a little bit on edge, and we're so quick to like just shoot somebody for something. And I think that needs to, and I think humor's the only way you can kind of break the ice on that.
Yeah,
and you straight away find people like if they're not like crazy uptight, you can see them like drop the guard.
Yeah,
and you're like, all right, now we're actually having an actual proper conversation, just like what you done to me with the start. So
we're rolling. What's up? But it also helps. I think you can come in at different levels with people. Like I wasn't wearing shoes when I came downstairs. That's like a telltale sign. You know, there are things.
Yeah, and you wanted to show me the new specs.
Guys, I'm getting blue light glasses and wear, but I don't know.
So I think that's a way you're disarming people, so that you can actually have a genuine conversation.
So how does that? I'm interested in that high street piece because I've never thought about it like that. To be like, if we were to think of a brand in fashion, obviously like a Dior, you've got couture, you've got ready to wear. What's their high street application? So
the high street is what it's got like another page at the moment called Den Holm United on Insta, and that is it's kind of like the fan in a sense page, or the backdoor entrance into
like community.
Yes, into the brand, and just it will be something that's felt out due to the time and the environment that we're currently in, and trying to engage with the community through most likely mass-produced items. Right. Yeah. Whether that's like, you know, China mass-produced or just a collection of stuff that's made in the factory, and really not necessarily looking to it's not like a profit grab kind of idea. Is it more just accessibility for people that want to be able to be a part of it but can't necessarily? Like for instance, I got sent a message on Insta the other day. It's this guy that like refurbs and does all the collectible design across all the like, you know, Design Miami and stuff like that. And I got speaking to him when I was in Design Miami, and he sent me a video of a guy that was one of his friends who had been stopped in the street to be asked about the outfit that he was wearing. And it turns out he's got one of my Den Holm hats that I gave away, Design Miami, and it's his favourite hat. And it's kind of cool that, you know what I mean, because we're not a fashion brand or anything like that. And I just think it's another way to engage with maybe a future consumer. You know what I mean? Really. There was there's a podcast that a lot of women listen to called After Work Drinks that was started in COVID, and they have like just gag on it. They say the word Jara a lot. I have no idea even what it means, but they got the word Jara printed on hats. And two of my girlfriends that did not know each other before met because one of them was wearing the hat, and then they crossed the street and she was like, "Hi," seeing it and being like, "You are one of me. We are one in the same because we like the same stimulus or whatever." Now they're great mates, and they like fully sat down and had a coffee together. And the thing is, I know for a fact that the people that follow Den Holm compared to the people that buy Den Holm are kind of slightly different a lot of the time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Like I can't afford to have Den Holm stuff in my house. Do you know what I mean? Like,
what is the starting rate?
Or it doesn't fit the weatherboard house in Thornbury.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of little pieces, but none of the standalone limestone big boys, you know what I mean?
What is the starting price for context of a standalone big boy?
You'd be looking at 25 upwards for a pedestal table.
Okay.
Like, so it's not, there's a clientele. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is there anything else going on with Den Holm that we should know about? What else have you got coming up that everyone can get around? And how do we... Obviously, we can find you on socials and all that stuff, but how do people...
No website at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, the website's definitely something we're eager to get. It's very close to being finished, and it's kind of a little bit of a rebrand.
Yeah.
Which is nice, because I feel like this is the last one for a little while.
Yeah. You've got to get that out, energy done, just put it away and focus on something else, for sure.
Because it was just moving all the time. And but we're not actually going to be going over to Miami this year.
Is Miami like the Cannes Film Festival of what you do? Yeah,
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about like Milan?
Yeah, I think Milan prior to this year was a bit on the down, but this year was large.
Did you go?
No,
okay.
But it's just from what you visually see.
Yeah,
it was on this year. I think it needed to be because it had relied too heavily on its status for a bit too long. But it's a different beast as well. It's a lot bigger.
Yeah,
Milan. Design Miami brings in that. It's the Basel crowd.
Yeah, okay.
And those guys are big hitters, and it was great to be there. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of like a real, full stop on. Right, cool, done that. Because you're working towards something, and a lot of the time it's like you get into your first magazine, you do this, you do that, and it's never really as great as you actually think it's
but it's also never done. You're like, one magazine, 5.
Right, cool.
Let's go more.
keep going. But it's good to just kind of draw a line through.
What did you do there?
I was on show with a gallery called Charles Bernard.
Oh, yes.
I had a few pieces on show. But it's good to just feel the edges.
Yeah.
Know what it feels like, and I don't necessarily need to be there. Mm-hmm. It's not right for the business right now.
Yeah.
It's all about kind of looking inward at the moment and solidifying what we're good at to go forward. Again, I've never felt more confident about where Den Holm is going as a brand.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's great, and it's down to a girl called Jodie. She came on as a bit of an advisor, and she's been great. She's been a great help.
To get your ducks in a row, kind of
thing. Just slow down, mate. You know what I mean? And she's just allowed for a little bit extra breathing room, and really instilled a lot of confidence. You know what I mean? Considering where she's came from and how much confidence she has in the brand.
Yeah.
It kind of you feel like you're getting a little bit of a hug.
Yeah.
And in terms of what we're doing a big project for Parramatta Museum in Sydney, which is one of the bigger projects that we've ever done. So it's always good to get those big ones in. Quite exciting. And we're busier than we've ever been, just with individual clients.
Yeah.
Interior designers and some private ones as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to come to the studio.
You must.
We're really in the video world. I'm sort of like, what the fuck? I own a video production company. Why am I not huge on YouTube? Like, why are we not absolutely slaying this game? Yeah. But it's because I've been an absolute slave to the client.
Yeah.
And now we're sort of working out how to do things. But I feel like if we're in the vlog space, which we need to be for more like a behind the podcast kind of a thing.
Yeah,
would love to come.
That would go off. Yeah.
Will you let me?
So much fun.
Chisel?
Yeah.
Will you teach me?
Yeah,
Give me a dud.
You can do the first stage. Oh my God. You know what I mean?
I would love that.
Yeah,
okay, guys, stay tuned.
Yeah.
I'm going to get dirty. What do I wear?
Anything white. Don't come in black. Don't do the Melbourne interior designer black outfit because you'll just leave looking all dusty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. What are you wearing? Oh, okay. You've got like on, but...
I don't work in this. This is me looking good, man. Jesus.
Duh. Okay. So what is the Instagram? How do people find you now?
At Den Holm, but it's DEN_HOLM.
Don't try and find him online on the internet.
And then my own art practice is Stephen John Clark, spelt with a V and Clark without an E.
What are the differences in how would you like?
So one's object and one's art.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
but you're invoicing both through Den Holm, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Well, it's a sub brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait, what's the big one? Den Holm.
Den Holm.
And then Stephen John Clark is the sub brand.
In a sense, yeah.
Is this like Mark by Marc Jacobs, or is this?
Yes.
Okay, got it. You are so fashion. Okay. Yeah.
That's why I'm on this podcast, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, that just allowed for me. I don't ever like to feel confined.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's not something that makes me feel. Yeah, I don't like that.
It's so interesting to see how you've set up things to match your own, understand and work with your own rebellion.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous on paper to say, I don't like to be confined. You own the business, bro. What do you mean you're confined? But then we're like, no, I won't meet that deadline because you fucking gave me one and I refuse.
There's not even that inner dialogue going on.
Yeah, we're just
I'm like, I'm refusing to do it. I'll just go off and do something else.
It sounds so annoying.
Without really realizing that I've done it. And then what I'll do is I'll play back. I'll go, yeah, I've still got loads of time to do that.
Okay.
Don't worry, Steve, you'll get it done in the 2 days. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you'll come in next day and you'll still be working on maybe this thing over here.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, man, you'll get it done in a day. No worries. So you play, you know, that way where you just make the story up in your head and then you start to believe it.
Yeah.
And then you end up focusing on it and you go, holy fuck, I needed 6 days.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So there's a real, there's split personality going on, I think, man. Not fully in charge. Stephen, John, and Clark, there's 3 of them.
Ah, okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know who's here just now. Yeah.
The dyslexic one, apparently. Yeah. I don't know. Thank you so much for joining me. That was so fun. And I'm glad that I now know you because I feel like we'll bop around the same circles.
Yes.
And we can just shit talk everyone else, go in the corner and get away from the fashion crowd.
Fantastic.
No, I love the fashion crowd.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Chat soon.
Cheers. Bye.
That is it for today's episode. We have packed the show notes with links and references to pretty much everything that we talked about. I hope this podcast has inspired you and made you just that little bit more obsessed with your own creative process and practice. If you loved it, please hit the subscribe button or the follow button, depending on where you're listening, or send it to a friend that's building something creative of their own. You guys know you can always DM me. Please let me know if you loved this episode. Process is a tiny little baby in the scheme of the podcast land, so we need all the love that we can get. You can find us sharing way more about the antics and the behind the scenes of Process over on Instagram and TikTok at Process the Podcast. And we're also now on YouTube, so you can find your episodes there too. I will see you next Sunday.